So here we have a story about the way the justice system is supposed to work in the United States of America. Suleiman Abu Ghaith is a son-in-law of Osama bin Laden. He's 48 years old, and he was born in Kuwait. And he was just put on trial in New York for, quote, conspiring to kill Americans, conspiring to provide material support for terrorists, and providing such support. So what did we learn in the court proceedings? Well, Ghaith met up with bin Laden in a cave in Afghanistan soon after 9/11, where they ended up laughing about 9/11 and they discussed it. And this guy also recorded videos for Al-Qaeda to use as, quote, recruiting tools. They also say, quote, in an October 2001 video in which Abu Ghaith promised the storm of airplanes will not stop, he indicated he knew beforehand of an ultimately unsuccessful attempt to detonate a shoe bomb aboard a jetliner in December 2001 by Briton Richard Reed. So, what happened when this evidence and other evidence was presented in a legal setting and we followed due process of law? He was found guilty. And now he's going to prison for the rest of his life. That's how you do it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Now, compare this story where through good police work and investigation tactics and using the legal system, okay, and good prosecution, we put somebody in jail where they belong because they're a fucking criminal. Compare this to what we did at Guantanamo Bay. What do we do at Guantanamo? A lot of people don't know this. I can't tell you how many times I've told the story of Guantanamo on air before, but one of the things that Bush and Cheney did directly after 9/11 is they reached out to allies in the Pakistani government, and they told them, hey, look, man, we're pissed off about this terrorist attack that happened against us, and we want to get the sons of bitches who did it. So if you know of anybody who's in Al-Qaeda that you have in Pakistan, you turn them over and we'll give you a monetary reward. So what did the government in Pakistan do? Oh, they gave people over. Here's the problem. They weren't Al-Qaeda. They weren't even jihadists. They were anti-Pakistani government protesters. But they handed them over. Why? Because they wanted the money. They wanted the monetary reward. And they knew that dumbass George Bush and Dick Cheney weren't going to know if the people they're handing over were Al-Qaeda or not. So these people can bitch and moan as much as they want about how they're innocent. They didn't give a fuck. So what happened? We locked these people up. We tortured a lot of these people. Some of the fucking people were like German citizens at one point, and they were on vacation in Pakistan. I'm not kidding about that. Look up a guy named Murat Kurnaz, M-U-R-A-T-K-U-R-N-A-Z, Murat Kurnaz. He has a fascinating and amazing story. He might have been to one of the other prisons, whether it's a CIA black site or Abu Ghraib, but the same thing happened at all of them. So we packed these jails full of people that we had no evidence they were guilty, and they weren't guilty, right? But we kept them there, and we tortured them, and we held them indefinitely, and we put them through fucking hell. And the reason why we were able to fuck up that badly is because we didn't abide by due process of law, because a bunch of idiots decided everything the United States of America was based on should be thrown out the window if we get scared or if there's an attack that happens. No, you're supposed to believe in the legal process and the Constitution in a concrete fashion. You don't get to ignore it when it becomes inconvenient, because then it's worthless to begin with, and you might as well have not had it. Okay? And when you read a story like this, you realize, oh, I see. If we have the system in place and we do the hard work, it works. And we can lock up bad guys, and we can put them in jail forever. And we don't lose our moral high ground and our ethics and our principles in the process. Okay? But when we do violate those principles and that legal understanding and the system that we've set up, and we do throw it out the window and act like George Bush and Dick Cheney, and we don't give a fuck about civil liberties anymore, we fail, and we also prove their point, which is the most upsetting thing about this, because that was Osama bin Laden's gamble. He knew he couldn't take down the United States of America. We're a fucking empire and a behemoth. He was a dude shitting in a cave in Afghanistan. But what was his goal? Goad the empire into bankrupting themselves by waging war on the Muslim world and starting a holy war, and make them violate their own principles to show that they are the infidels, they are the savages. And we did violate our own principles, right? I have a good idea. How about we no longer give Osama bin Laden and ISIS and Al-Qaeda and the Taliban and jihadis exactly what they want, okay? How about we stick by our principles through thick and thin, and then also we'll realize it actually fucking works. The system is there for a reason, and we can still get the bad guys if we abide by the system.